The invitation lay on the kitchen counter like a ghost from another lifetime. Central Valley High, class of 2015, 10-year reunion. Underneath, in shiny embossed letters, "We hope to see you there, Ava Turner." Ava stood staring at it, her fingers resting lightly on the envelope, her breath steady but slow. Only 10 years had passed, but it felt like several versions of herself had lived and died since she walked the halls of Central Valley High. Back then she was Ava the awkward, Ava the nobody, Ava the loser, nicknames delivered like punches by the very people now inviting her for a night of pretend nostalgia. She knew why they had sent it. She saw the thread of messages on social media when someone tagged her name by accident. They assumed she wouldn't see it. They forgot the internet was an open window. "We have to invite her." Tradition. Honestly, it'll be hilarious if she actually comes. She won't. She's probably still the same little mouse. Imagine her showing up in the same old thrift store clothes. Let's record her reaction when she sees everyone else looking amazing. A reunion invitation wasn't an olive branch, it was bait. Ava exhaled slowly, then walked toward the tall window overlooking the Manhattan skyline. Below her penthouse, traffic hummed like a never-ending river. She had worked herself raw to stand on this side of the glass, surviving on coffee, sleepless nights, and relentless determination, until the little girl they used to mock had built a company worth millions. By 28, she wasn't a mouse anymore. She tapped her phone. "Elias? Change of plans for next Saturday." Her chief of staff answered instantly. "Yes, Miss Turner. I'm going to my high school reunion." Elias paused. "Shall I arrange the usual travel?" A smile curled across Ava's lips, cold, calm, not vindictive but certain. "No," she said softly. "Let's take the helicopter." As the line clicked off, she walked back to the invitation. She finally picked it up, but not as someone wounded. She held it like a challenge she'd already won. Her past didn't scare her anymore, but she was finally ready to return and look it in the eye. The night of the reunion was loud before she even arrived. Central Valley's community hall had been decorated with gold and silver balloons, glittering banners, and a photo booth that seemed designed more for social media prestige than genuine memory. The class of 2015 buzzed around inside, laughing, gossiping, clinking glasses filled with cheap champagne, but the loudest group was gathered near the entrance: Melissa Hayes, former cheer captain, Brent Gordon, football star turned small-town insurance salesman, and Tyler Green, self-appointed king of sarcasm. Melissa was already halfway through her third drink, her lipstick too bright, her smile too sharp. "So," she said to the others, "did anyone hear from our guest of honor?" Brent laughed. "Guest of honor? Please. We all know she won't come." Tyler leaned against the wall, smirking. "Yeah. Ava Turner in a room full of people? She'd rather hide under a table." Melissa shrugged dramatically. "Still, I hope she shows up. I could use some entertainment." Brent lifted his phone, opening the school alumni page. "Do you think she ever moved out of that tiny town her mom lived in?" Tyler scoffed. "Doubt it. Last I saw on Facebook years ago, she was working at some bookstore or something." Melissa rolled her eyes. "Figures. Anyway, if she walks in, we'll pretend to be nice. Try not to laugh immediately." Tyler grinned. "No promises." The rest of the class milled about, comparing jobs, showing off engagement rings, bragging about promotions. Everyone seemed eager to prove they were doing better than everyone else, but then, a distant sound cut through the party music. Whoop 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 whoop. A rhythmic chopping noise. Someone frowned. "Is that?" Another person walked toward the glass doors. "Sounds like, no way." More heads turned. Outside, leaves and dust kicked upward in swirling circles. The powerful blades of a black and silver helicopter sliced through the air above the parking lot, descending with precise elegance. People rushed to the entrance, confusion turning into shock. Melissa staggered to the front. "What the? Who rides a helicopter to a reunion?" Tyler blinked rapidly. Some rich show-off. But nobody from our class. Brent burst into laughter. Okay, this is insane. The helicopter touched down. Its side door opened slowly, the interior lights spilling onto the pavement like a movie scene. A pair of black heels emerged, stepping confidently onto the ground, then a woman stepped out. A woman in a sleek fitted dress, her posture flawless, her expression serene. Her hair flowed over her shoulders in polished waves. Her makeup was simple but striking. Her eyes were sharp, observant, unsmiling, but not unkind. Ava Turner, the girl they once shoved into lockers, the girl they mocked during lunch, the girl they predicted would never be anything. She wasn't just different, she was transformed. People froze. Some whispered. Some gaped openly. Melissa felt her mouth fall open. You've got to be kidding. Brent squinted like he couldn't recognize her. Is that her? Tyler whispered, holy, she looks like she walked out of a magazine. The pilot stepped out, nodded respectfully to Ava, and closed the helicopter door behind her. She thanked him with a calm smile before walking toward the entrance, unhurried, untouched by the chaos of eyes following her. With every step, her past shrank behind her like a shadow dissolving under sunlight. The doors opened automatically as she approached. The room went silent. Ava smiled politely, hello, everyone. It's been a long time. No one laughed. And no one even breathed. She walked past them like someone who had stopped needing validation years ago, and that, more than her wealth, was what shocked them most. While music resumed and people pretended to relax, their eyes constantly drifted toward her, toward the girl they once defined but never truly knew. Ava moved with quiet confidence, chatting briefly with classmates who approached her politely, shaking hands with old teachers, even complimenting the cafeteria manager who had always been kind to her. Everyone else hovered, unsure whether to go near her or hide from her. Eventually, Melissa gathered her courage, or rather her envy, and approached Ava with a sugary smile. Ava. Wow, you look so different. Ava turned to her with a calm nod. Good evening, Melissa. Melissa tilted her head. I mean it. You were always quiet. We didn't expect, she gestured vaguely. All this. Ava smiled gently. Life takes people in unexpected directions. Melissa tried to laugh. So, you came in a helicopter? I did. That's, wow. Melissa's eyes darted around, making sure people were watching. So what do you do now? Ava kept her tone neutral. I built a software company after college. It grew quickly. We expanded internationally last year. Melissa blinked. You're a CEO? Yes. Brent joined them, his voice forced into cheerfulness. So you're rich now, huh? Ava shook her head softly. Rich is relative. I'm fortunate. I've worked hard. Tyler scratched his neck awkwardly. Man. We thought you'd. I don't know, be the same. Ava held their gazes, her expression neither boastful nor bitter. You thought I'd still be the girl you used to make fun of. They stiffened. Melissa swallowed. We were kids. It was just teasing. Ava's voice stayed level. It didn't feel like teasing. A silence settled like a weight between them. Tyler exhaled, guilt flickering through him. Yeah, we were awful sometimes. Ava nodded. Yes. You were. Melissa's confidence cracked. Are you mad at us? Ava paused, not because she was unsure, but because she wanted her words to land where they belonged. No, she said finally. I'm not mad. I grew. I healed. I built a life that no longer depends on your approval or your opinions. Melissa blinked, surprised by the softness in Ava's tone. Ava continued, but I also don't pretend none of it happened. Brent rubbed his neck. We didn't expect you to turn out like this. Ava's gaze softened slightly, not in forgiveness, but in understanding. I didn't come here to impress you, she said. I came because I no longer carry who I used to be. I'm not here to prove anything. I'm just here to close the chapter. Melissa stared at her, speechless. Ava smiled, warm this time. I hope you're all doing well. Truly. And with that, she walked away, joining a group of old friends from art class, the only ones who had ever treated her kindly. They talked for nearly an hour, laughing about projects they made years ago, catching up on life, sharing stories about dreams that came true and those still waiting. The reunion wound down slowly. People began leaving, still whispering about the helicopter, about Ava's success, about how wrong they had been. When Ava finally stepped outside into the crisp night, the helicopter lights illuminated the parking lot once again. A small crowd lingered just to watch her leave. A teacher approached her quietly. Ava, dear. I always knew you had something special. Ava smiled. Thank you. She climbed inside the helicopter, fastening her belt. As the blades began to spin, she looked down at the building that once held so many painful memories, but now it was small. It couldn't hurt her anymore. As the helicopter rose, lifting her into the night sky, the town shrank beneath her, tiny, distant, no longer a weight on her chest. Ava closed her eyes, letting the rush of wind wash over her. She had not come back for revenge or validation. She came back for closure, and she found it. She left that night not as the class loser, not as the mocked girl, not as someone defined by anyone else's words. She left as the woman she built herself to become, unapologetic, unbroken, unforgettable, and somewhere deep inside her, the girl she once was finally smiled.